He is an author of The Naked Entrepreneur and Future Proofing Your Business, a very, very popular public speaker. He is not a citizen. He's from Australia, so he can't vote here. Doesn't waste a lot of time listening, reading, or formulating opinions, but he does stand back and look at what might work here for a guy who pays taxes. Great to have you, Troy. How are you, bud? Good to talk to you.
I'm great, mate. How you doing?
Good. So here we go again. You and I had this conversation about 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Political unknown this time, and a career politician running head-to-head. So give me your impartial 50,000-foot view of both of these candidates as a guy who pays taxes in our country but doesn't get a chance to have your own say, so to speak.
Well, the big question is, can we run a government like you run a business? I mean, that's what the entrepreneur's going to want to do. He's going to want to just do all the stuff he's done in business for the last 20 years and with exactly the same strategy on a Capitol Hill. Yeah. And I'm thinking he might run into a few roadblocks there because he's got to learn the difference between bullying and lobbying, and he's got to earn respect as well, because while he's respected in the business world, he's certainly not up on the hill, where his opponent at least knows how to get her way around up on the hill and do the political dance.
You know, it's interesting he brings that up because he you know, when you're CEO of your own company, or you're the major shareholder, I mean, let's face it, the CEO serves at the pleasure of the board of directors, who serves at the pleasure of the shareholders. And oftentimes he's the biggest shareholder.
Yeah.
So he still gets to make all the decisions on the board and the fact that he's running the company. You don't get to do that as president, do you? That you think that'll be his biggest struggle, Troy?
That's a good point.
Well, look, I think I'd look forward as president. I would look forward to his skill and ability as an entrepreneur and the speed to market with which he'd like to make changes. But the frustration he would have in relation to that, I think, would be something that would be almost as stifling as what Obama's experienced over the last 2 terms, where he keeps getting these roadblocks get in the way of what he wants to try and achieve. So I wonder if he could find himself enough smart guys to surround himself to tell him how to dance and what he should be doing to dance. And I wonder if he's an old dog, new tricks. Can he learn how to dance at his age and space and place in life?
Troy, do you think he'll simplify things? I mean, that's sort of been his moniker so far, that he's going to simplify some things, including the tax code, Affordable Care Act. Do you think that's doable for somebody like that?
Oh, look, I think so. And look at his background. He's been in property, real estate, development. They're all pretty basic functions. I mean, you have to be clever to get your way around that neighbourhood, but still the same. It's about building stuff and selling stuff. Really straightforward. You hear him speak, and only till the last couple of weeks, he's been ad-libbing most of his presentations, which has been good and bad. Sometimes he just can't finish a sentence. But I think he wants to get to the point faster, and that's going to be good for the country. I just hope that the rest of his counterparts up there would allow him to do that should he get the seat.
I agree.
Troy, is Trump going to be able to navigate his way around the Shark Tank in D.C. based on the fact that he is not a
career politician? Yeah, good point. That's a good question.
I think his business savvy will set him up for some sort of success, but he does have to learn how to just stop speaking sometimes. Let the people around him breathe a little bit. And that's going to be a challenge for him because he's used to taking control. It's used to be his way or the highway, and that's going to be hard for him, I think.
You bring up the great thing about Donald Trump, and that's the efficiency model that he could potentially bring to the White House.
Yeah.
The very definition of a politician is inefficiency.
Absolutely.
So where does that stand with Hillary Clinton, in your opinion?
Well, I can't see a lot of change. I mean, they've already endorsed the legacy. We want to keep the legacy of Democrats going. So I can't see much different happening in the next 4 years. And we're 19 trillion in a hole and climbing. I cannot see a significant change in any fiscal policy that says we're going to be more efficient, we're going to be more effective, and we're going to try and bring that debt down. It's just, let's just keep going and we'll power our way through it. And the challenge I got with that is that we are overdue for another correction. And if we have another correct one, we're still down this path, that's going to be really, really painful for us.
No, he's right. I mean, what Troy's talking about is that we are 5 years into an economic cycle. We are 7 years into an economic cycle, which typically lasts 5 years. We are overdue for a correction. He's absolutely right.
Absolutely agree.
So here's my question, and because people are going to say this, that she's never created a paycheck, she's not an entrepreneur, but neither have any of the other past presidents so far. How do you handle that objection? Because I tend to agree with you, Troy. And the fact that she's not an entrepreneur is going to continue to hurt us as an economy like it has over the last 8 years. Where do you stand there?
Look, I think it's going to come back to the same old conversation about who pays for it at the end of the day. It's all well and good to have great policy, but particularly in these sort of conversations where we've got people that haven't run companies or businesses trying to run a country, the first thing they look for is let's go and get the dough off the guys who've made it and give it to the guys who haven't, and everything will be fine. And that's the sort of conversation we can't afford to have in the next term.
That's exactly right. Troy Hazard, TroyHazard.com. Thank you, Troy.